There's no way to end the stream. That's crazy. Oh. Stop it. End stream. Oh, there we go. End stream. It's like a 1 hour. Whoa. Reframe. What you mean reframe? I must be with yo. Okay, so reframe. Okay, now I know what that means. So I guess reframe means you can choose to change stuff on the camera and it'll stay that way. Nice PC. Yeah, thanks. Oh wow, I can actually hear my own audio. That's crazy. All right, let me refocus. I'm gonna the camera, and now you can see everything. Oh yeah, there we go. Flying? Where are you flying? Wait, in a plane? In a plane? Or chopper? Whoops. Chopper. All right, let's move this camera view like this. Chopper this way. Stream is healthy. Wonderful. Apparently this camera has like four microphones or something. It's kinda neat. Wow, this is great. This is so great. I'm gonna move this over here. Alright. It's me. I look like a giant head now. Slightly choppy. Let me see here. My new stream. Then the last one. Okay. What shall we do? What kind of activities shall we have, huh? I wonder if I can make this camera follow me around. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think this has that capability. Someone joined? Yeah, I wonder who it is. I wonder sewing with. Actually, let me try something here. There's that one. And I'll go to YouTube again. See if I can share this. I'm gonna get some people to join and say, come here. Come join us here. Start dancing. What am I doing? There we go, that's better. Yeah, I can actually read these comments as they're going. That's kind of cool. But I have I got some black tea here. I do want to eventually go get some more Navajo tea. I have some tea that's from the mountains. That was picked from the well, it's herbal tea. It's picked from the hills, likely the either Chusca Mountains or the other side of the Carrizo Mountains in Arizona. Got to get some of those. Yeah. Because I still have some here with me, but I didn't bring it down here to this little meeting room, little lounge area. But the other thing I do want to try though is I want to come here and I want to give some lectures on this board. You see, this board's got some writing on it, and I think it would be nice to be able to focus the camera directly onto where I'm trying to write. I mean, I don't know if it's clear enough. Probably not. Let me see. I can control it here on my phone. My phone is able to control what's on the screen. So let me try that. And supposedly this is in like 4K resolution or something. Oh, let me check the. Hold on. Let me check the battery level on this thing, because this camera's got a touch screen right here. Let me check. Never mind. I don't want to knock it over. Let me try on here. Let me see. Ooh. Okay, how about? So it does. Put this right here. We are in business. Yeah. You know, oh, check that out. The cloud. Oh wow, this is clearer than I expected it to be. I really wish. Oh, okay. Never mind. I see the boundary percentage. 74%. Wonderful. Okay, let me try something. I'm going to write something here on the board. Oh, yeah, this is something my friends wrote. About linguistics, and then talking about some of the things I knew from the mountains. Like here's one thing I'll let you in on about the Navajo language. It's that every time you use the letter A, actually I want to say the Navajo vocabulary. It's got this thing. letter, the list. Actually, this is also spelled like. Hold on. This is also spelled like this. Navajo. But the thing I want to point out about here is that this is pronounced like a DZH. So this is equivalent to an actual J. I made a weird arrow symbol here, but it's equivalent to a J in English. Oops. English J. So English J, right? Like jive. I speak jive. If you don't. But Joe. So people mispronounce it as Joe. Navajo, which is incorrect. We don't call ourselves Navajo. We call ourselves Navajo, which is roughly equivalent to Navajo. Something like that. And then this is also equivalent to what we call ourselves Diné. There you go. So that's Navajo for you. This is very common spelling right here with the J, but people mispronounce this. It's wrong. J. And this J is supposed to make an H sound, right? But in reality, in the Navajo language, you can see here there's a bit of evidence. Maybe I should use a different color. I'll use purple. How about that? Here's some evidence. Look at this. So here's a H in Navajo. When we say H, ha, it actually is an H. So it's equivalent to an H in English. Okay. The H sound in English, ho. So every letter in the Navajo, or every Latin letter in the Navajo alphabet that we're borrowing, the H is actually supposed to sound like an H. You see? And when we write a J is supposed to sound like a J. But only this particular spelling, exclusively this spelling of the word Navajo, the J is equal to an H. Only that word. That word only. So what this means is that when we write something like jo, Panae, like this. So, whoops. You'll see that J is the same as a J sound, which is the same as DZH. The English version of J. So, you see J in English. And then J, you spell it out phonetically. And then you see a letter H right here. It's also an H sound in English. Voila. We don't say Yohanae. The word Yohanae does not exist in Navajo. So in other words, this is not equivalent to the Y sound. Does not exist. Zilch. Voila. So this is something I want to make very clear about the Navajo language. It goes kind of in different directions. But you can also ask a question where, oh, I just realized you can't see anything, can you? No, you can't see anything. No, hold on, let me readjust this so that maybe you can see. Oh, look at that. Now you can kind of see it. Let me move the camera a little closer. How about that? Make things 1,000 times easier. Ladies and gentlemen, current bitrate of the speed, it says, is somehow. You can kind of see. You can kind of see the letters. Okay, zoom in a little bit more. A little more. Just a little bit. On this 360-degree camera. Yeah, I zoomed in. It should be working now. So, as I was saying, I wrote here, Navajo language, we have this letter J here. And when we use a J in Navajo, it's supposed to be relatively equal to the English word equivalent. And then, I said English. Yeah. So, the J makes a J, and the H makes an H in Navajo. And then, the J sometimes makes an H, but when I say sometimes, I mean exclusively only right here. It's the only place you use a J to make a ha sound. But the Navajo language does not, however, use the J to make a yo, a Y sound. Or we don't say yohana a. So what does this word mean? Let me choose a different color. Oh, blue. I use blue. So Johana A. This is the sun. Let me draw a sun for you. Let me use blue. And a blue smile. You ready for this? And then I'm going to draw a nice little circle. Not a perfect circle. Some line. Voila. What does Johana A mean? Johana A in Navajo is the sun, the sky. So if we say Johana A, or we say something's like Johana A Nahalin. Alright, here's a word for it. Here's another word for it. Nahalin. Yeah. You can say A. It means it is like the sun. It appears to be, or it's like in English, or appears to be. Let's see. Appears to be. No. So this is your Navajo lesson for today. I just have a couple more words for you. I'll tell you, I'll give you one more short lesson on the Navajo language. And here it is. In the Navajo language, we also say Ahzolin. Ahzoli. And you'll notice here that there's a little mark, sort of a short glottal stop that exists before the letter A. So you'll notice extensively that in the Navajo language, the glossary or the list of words that start with the letter A is extensive. So if you were to like take all the percentage of the Navajo language around a circle and split it up into like multiple parts, like this, then you could say that the letter A probably takes up like actually let me split it up here. Let's say letter A exclusively right here. All the words that start with letter A in Navajo language, right here. And then the other letter that takes up a big chunk is letter N. And then all the others, they fill in right here. So letter A and letter N, these two take up the most, I would say that they take up the most space in the Navajo vocabulary. And there's no specific percentage, but it's quite large, as you can see here. I drew it visually. But all I'm saying is, you say something in Navajo, Ahzolin, and this just means light or lightweight. There's also another spelling which is like Ahzolin. Let's see. Light, weight. And there actually is some parallelisms here because you can also just say light, as in something's lightweight, but you also have over here the sun. Atindin Johana A Nahalin, or Johana A Atindin. There you go. Atindin. There's usually, and as I said, the letter A typically has that short glottal stop, that little mark in front of it. You can look at Navajo that's been written by Navajo linguists, Navajo language experts, and you'll see that Adindin and all the other Navajo words that start with the letter A, they all have this mark in the front. So if you see someone that doesn't use the mark in the front, it's probably because they just want to spell something quickly. Adindin means to shine. Really shiny, then you say ayo. Ayo. Yeah, it is right. Ayo. Ayo adindin. This is like adding emphasis. It's lots of. Or should I say extensively? Extensive. Extensive shine. This almost sounds like I'm advertising something. Get an extensive shine for your shoes. Are you in Nahalin? Very shiny. It's kind of as if NRL. What is NRL? National Rugby. Hold up. Someone's talking about National Rugby. So, you have learned today what a range of different Navajo words means. And then I will go here. All the parts. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. So I might misspell things slightly here and there. So it's fine because Navajo language is primarily spoken. The way we spell it, the way we see it, or the way we sound it out, it's phonetic. So when you see a word and it doesn't quite match the actual sound of the word, like the vocal pronunciation, then, well, something might have happened there where some mistakes were adopted. But in general, it's supposed to be phonetic, meaning every section of the word should more or less be able to people. Would be like so that's the Cyrillic version, which is kind of funny. And then let's see, Jonah 8 in Cyrillic would probably be like and then I need to use a regular. So this would be like Jonah 8 or something like this. So the Cyrillic version of this word here is written like this. So you could, if you know how to read Cyrillic, if you know how to read and write in Russian or maybe Ukrainian or some other Slavic language that this Cyrillic alphabet system, you could try to read this and then you'll make more or less the same sound as this word here, which is the same word for sun. You probably can see I drew sun here. Hopefully you can see it on camera. Let me check it out. It's written there. Some parts of this thing seem like it's too bright. Yeah. Like it. So this is the 1 a.m. lecture. And then I'll type in Navajo. Navajo. Oh yes, and I must add once more that in Navajo, I believe, because let's say this is the Navajo Nation, it's more or less shaped something like this. Okay, maybe it's more or less shaped like this, and then like Arizona here, New Mexico is here, Colorado, Utah. So it's more or less shaped like this, and then there's like a small part here, I think, because we recently, as a nation, purchased. Can you believe this? We're Native Americans, right? We're indigenous, and we have to buy back the land from the United States, right? Which is kind of ironic. Like this territory belongs to us, but on the Navajo tribe, we wanted to extend the tribe out this way. This might go this way a little bit, so it's more, Navajo Nation is more or less shaped like this, kind of a shape. And then a couple of years ago, very recently, the tribe decided to buy a chunk of land in Colorado. We didn't own any part of the state of Colorado, but there's a small part of it that was purchased. And that's what I think is funny, is because we're buying back land from a country that already technically belongs to us, which is funny. Or a nation. Land on a nation that technically belongs to us. Anyway, sidetrack. I was saying that down here, this map is that down here on the south side, here's the north side, here's the east, and then the west. There's like four continents. Anyways, down south, down here in this region, there's a little place here called Window Rock. W-R. Let's just say W-R for short. Window Rock is the capital of the Navajo Nation, and that's where our central government lies. Of course, blotched throughout the entire Navajo Nation, we have many different chapters. The chapters are like local government that we established ourselves. And my chapter is called Red Valley Chapter. That's what they call it. Anyways, it's in this region, the upper right corner of Arizona. So that's where I'm from. But anyways, down here, way down south, there's a place called Window Rock. Actually, it's not on the Mexico side. You're wrong. Window Rock is more like somewhere right here. Let's see. Window Rock, Arizona. And down here, you know, if you go slightly back in American history, you know, let's just pretend this is a big map, right? And here's Arizona, all these 4 states. So these 4 states did not exist at one point. The United States did not exist at one point. The United States is barely like a little over 200 years old, 200 something years old. It's not that old of a country. It's barely a couple of generations. But in this region, there was this place down here called Mexico, right? I mean, that's why we have New Mexico here, New Mexico State. But down here, there were tribes, there were people who lived there, and then there were the Spaniards who came from Spain, and they did, I don't know, some campaign thing down here. And then that's how people from generally south of this region, they all kind of speak some variants of Spanish, what I call Spanish, which is technically Spanish, but because it's from Spain, I call it Spanish. I don't know any Spanish. Anyways, down here, these people, for them, we did some business with them. We had some small conflicts with them as well. Every now and then, these Spaniards, these Spain people, Europeans, long time ago. And they had some influence, I believe, on this particular spelling of Navajo. So us, Diné people, when we spell Navajo, it's supposed to be with H because H is H. But the J, as I mentioned earlier, that we don't use currently for pronunciation of the H sound. The H sound has been replaced here, and that comes from this influence out. So these people that speak Spanish, the Spanish-speaking people down here, right? I guess there's some slight influence on the southern area of Navajo's language. So the Navajo Nation is a big place, huge place, right? We have mountains, and mountains here, mountains up here, some mountains over here, and then you get to like Flagstaff. Maybe you're familiar with a place called Flagstaff, so that exists somewhere over here, and then like Grand Canyon somewhere. But all these mountain regions and places where it really divides, it creates dialects of the Navajo language. So the Navajo language in itself does have dialects. So dialects do exist in Navajo. We don't have names for any specific dialect because generally people just communicate with each other and we understand each other, so that's good enough. There's no need to label any specific dialect. But we do have dialects. Why? Because we have mountains. And these mountains, they're like where I'm from, for example, is above 3,000 meters. 3,000 meters above sea level. So that's like close, I would say, close to 10,000 feet. Almost 10,000 feet. Maybe about 10K feet. Let's see. So that's how high the mountain is, rather. And when you go to the other side of the mountains, rather, people speak Navajo slightly differently on that side compared to the northern side where I'm from. So, like for example, just one small example. The word for snow in Navajo, snow. Where I live, we say yes. Yes is. Snow is coming, winter time. And then on the other side of the mountain range, or like other places, people use the word, let's see, it's spelled with a Z. So there is definitely some dialects in the way people speak. And also down here as well, when people say the word sechil. So let me see, maybe I can erase some of these words here. Everything piled up. So in this region here, or in some other regions, people say set. Set means rock in Navajo, but when they say chill, it's like chill. Sechil. You say the two words together. This is like maybe a bush or a plant or a tree or some plant. So when you say rock plant or rock bush, whatever you call it, you put those two together and it becomes the word oak. You know, because as you might notice, oak, the wood, oak or oak trees, they're really solid wood. It's kind of like a rock. It's a very hard wood. It's a hard wood. Oh, and so that's how we end up with the word sechil. But that's how we say. Actually, I should point out this how we say it where I'm from in this region, sechil. But for some reason, there are people in this region. They pronounce a little bit differently. They don't say sechil, they say che. Chill. Or it's chet. I don't know if it's chechil or chechil. It's probably like this. They pronounce it like this. And you can see here, there's no word for che. Che does not exist in the Navajo language. But the word se does exist, and it means rock. So there's some loose mispronunciation here, and if you speak to some Navajo elders, they will acknowledge that. You can ask some Navajo language experts. They will say, oh yes, that's right, it is mispronounced ever so slightly, but people just kind of stuck with it because language changes over time. But this is more or less the same. Now you know there is some language changes, and also Navajo, Navajo. Some people pronounce it Navajo mistakenly. It's a mistake. It's supposed to be Navajo, but people just prefer the spelling anyway. I don't. I prefer spelling with an H or just using Diné. If you're not sure on your stance of spelling Navajo in a way, just spell it with Diné. There's no mistake here. You can't go wrong. It's foolproof. The spelling of Diné is foolproof. It's not foolproof. So. Okay, that concludes today's lesson on the Navajo language. Thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you learned something today about Navajo language, about my indigenous language. And just want to put this here. I'm gonna make some more lecture content in the future. And right now I'm just experimenting with how this would go on this little whiteboard here. Yeah. Let me just zoom into this so that way it doesn't seem like I'm erasing everything at once. Moving around a lot. I just wanted to make sure this is on the right spot. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in today. Just wanted to share some knowledge, some experience. That's how linguistics goes. We'll talk some more about Navajo in the future. But until next time, stay safe and happy, lazy. Just kidding. That's what Styropyro says. Alright, well, see you guys. Take care out there. And let me switch the camera over.